3 more veterans are being honored through what's being called Operation Veteran Recognition. They are Ralph Gunderson, Alan Gerlach, and Raymond Wille. It's an honor done in conjunction with the County Veterans Services Office and Lynn Family Funeral Home. Their images will be seen on their billboard along Highway 29 near the Alexandria Clinic for the next 3 months. These veterans have very different experiences, but they have all found a way to serve. Ralph Gunderson of Kensington is the most senior of the 3.
Graduated from high school and volunteered for the draft, so I went in the service in August of 1954, to give you an idea. And I spent time down in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, where everybody gets to go, it seems like.
In the Army, Ralph learned communications and how to understand and type out messages in Morse code. He served for 3 years, but his pride in America, and specifically the American flag, has lasted a lifetime.
I just think I wanted to be proud of it. I want to have that thing standing out in the breeze and see that thing waving, and I'm so pleased and so proud to be able to work with it.
About 15 years ago, Ralph, in addition to being on the Kensington Legion, was part of the Veterans Council in Alexandria. The 2 groups met over an issue during the fair.
And there was a flagpole down here on the grandstand. So at 6 o'clock we'd come down and lower the flag, but we had to pull it down through a bunch of wires, and it was very slow. And right at 6 o'clock, the announcer would announce, "Start your engines for the races." And as we were standing there, I said, "This is not very patriotic."
Ralph got busy looking for a better place. The fair boards, Dick Galbranson and others, helped narrow it down to the lawn just outside the RCC. With help from his son-in-law, they did some landscaping and put in a proper flagpole, one that Ralph proudly cares for year-round to honor the veterans who have served and to honor our country. Al Gerlach was born in Austin, Minnesota, one of 7 boys. He was number 6. After some time in the National Guard, Al got started working for MnDOT.
I ended up getting hired on. We were married. We was married in '60, and I was in the National Guard prior to that. And then I was discharged from National Guard because of the back injury. So I figured, well, I guess the guards don't want me. I should be okay. I just went ahead and got married and made our marriage plans.
Uncle Sam in the U.S. Army had other ideas for Al, not long after he began working for the Highway Department.
Just got working for them about 2 weeks, and I got my draft notice.
After some time at Fort Carson and later Fort Hood, Al was part of a massive buildup in the 1st Armored Division, and eventually they learned of a threat in the Caribbean.
And we didn't hear the news, the news wasn't released to us at that point. And so we were just packing up and figuring China was kind of raising a little thunder about that too. We thought, well, we're going to China. And so anyway, it wasn't long then we learned that the Cuban Crisis was happening. Around the middle of October, I think it was, we got to Georgia that year. And then, so from there, then the Cuban Crisis was, President Kennedy was negotiating with Khrushchev at that time, trying to get a settlement. And as it turned out afterwards, we learned that we were just awful close to a nuclear war at that point when the crisis was ceased. And you don't know how close we were to it, really.
Not long after Al was discharged, he went back to his job at the DOT and started a family. Around the turn of the century, the Gerlocks moved up to Alexandria.
I got active with the Legion then at that point, and after a few years, I got into the leadership role. Got on one of the first missions I was on with the Legion was with the Military Funeral Honor Guard. I got involved with the Honor Guard back 15 years ago, probably.
Al has been post commander of the American Legion Post 87 for the past 5 years. The last veteran we honor today is Ray Willey. He served in the Air Force all over the world for more than 2 decades before returning home to Alexandria in the mid-90s. The military life seemed pretty natural when you look at his family tree, starting with his father, Richard.
Dad was, he went in the Army Air Corps, started out Army Air Corps, and then was Army Air Force during World War II. He was in North Africa and then went across into Europe as the war was winding down.
Ray's oldest brother graduated from Alexandria in '66, Ray in '68, and his youngest brother in 1970. All three went into the Air Force. In fact, there was about a 4-year period of time when all three boys were in the Air Force at the same time, right around the Vietnam War.
We were in Vietnam. My brother was in a total of 8 years. He was in Vietnam. And I was in a total of 24 years. And I went to Vietnam and Thailand. And my younger brother was shortly after Vietnam at that time, 70s. And he went to CCK Taiwan. He didn't actually have to go to Vietnam.
Ray says that time in war is something that develops a bond between other veterans that is hard to put your arms around. Although people's experiences varied greatly during Nam, it has provided a unifying presence.
I think veterans will talk to veterans a lot more than they'll talk to a civilian, especially the Vietnam ones, because they weren't received very well when they came back, but they'll always talk to another veteran. And you get along pretty well. They're different experiences, but the camaraderie of the military and everything like that is the same no matter which branch you're in.
Ray is now part of the Inspiration Peak Legion Post 527 in Millerville and takes pride especially for a tradition done each Memorial Day.
On Memorial Day, we go around to 7 different cemeteries up North Valley here to do military honors. And because it's these little rural cemeteries that most people don't really think about and don't give much thought to, we go out there and do military honors for them. Sometimes we're the only ones there, and that's okay.
The 3 new honorees share that military bond and that commitment to take care of their fellow servicemen and women. Each expressed their appreciation to Lynn Family Funeral for their commitment to veterans, something perhaps overdue for many who served.
In many cases, it's long overdue, but it's nice.
With our latest Operation Veteran Recognition honorees, Ralph Gunderson, Alan Gerlach, and Ray Willey, for the Voice of Alexandria, I'm Joe Korkowski.